In this video, I'm going to show you the right way to start a dropshipping business step by step that can eventually lead to a long-term business. And to be clear, I'm not going to show you how to start the scammy kind of dropshipping businesses that you see all over YouTube. You'll learn how to create a legit dropshipping business that you can later transition to a private label online store as your business matures. What up everyone, my name is Steve Chu and I run two seven-figure businesses over at bumblebeelinens.com, which sells handkerchiefs, and my e-commerce blog over at mywifequitherjob.com. I'm also the author of the Wall Street Journal best-selling book, The Family First Entrepreneur. Now, if you've been following me for any length of time, you probably know that I don't like dropshipping as a long-term business model. Not only are the margins low at between 10 and 30%, but because you are selling other people's products, there will be many other sellers selling the exact same product as you, which always leads to price erosion. However, I do understand that most of you don't have a lot of money to start an e-commerce business, and dropshipping just happens to be one of the best ways to get started selling online on a major budget. But before we begin, I just want to quickly highlight the types of dropshipping businesses that you should avoid at all costs. If you ever see someone advertising a dropshipping business that involves dropshipping from AliExpress or dropshipping directly from China, run away as far as you can. The shipping will be long and the quality control will not be good, which will lead to all sorts of customer service problems later on. If you ever see someone advertising dropshipping from Amazon to eBay or from any marketplace to a different marketplace, don't do it. Almost every marketplace, including Amazon and eBay, only allow dropshipping from real wholesale distributors. So with that in mind, let's get started. By the way, if you're enjoying this video so far, make sure you sign up for my free 6-day e-commerce mini course below. Now, just in case you are brand new to dropshipping, dropshipping is an e-commerce business model where an online store does not carry inventory for the products it sells. When an order is placed, the online store purchases the products from a wholesale supplier who then ships the order directly to the end customer. There are no upfront costs to start, and you don't even need to touch any inventory at all. Now, when it comes to figuring out what to sell online, I would stick to what you know and love. For example, if you love fishing, then I'd consider dropshipping fishing supplies. If you run a beauty salon, then dropship beauty products. Now, in terms of choosing the actual products to sell in your store, your product selection will be limited by the suppliers you can find who are willing to dropship on your behalf. After all, you can't just find any random product online and have a company dropship it for you. And in general, you're going to be constrained by the product portfolio of the companies who are willing to dropship at all. Also, because dropshipping carries lower margins compared to other e-commerce business models, you'll want to sell goods that carry a higher price tag. So think barbecue grills and fire pits as opposed to cheap trinkets or gadgets. Basically, you want your average order value to be at least $50 minimum and preferably $100 or more. This is the only way that you'll make significant money with dropshipping. Meanwhile, here are some other product guidelines that you should try to follow. Choose a niche with a lot of related products. Now, the key to running a successful online business is to cross-sell your goods. So if a customer buys a barbecue grill, sell them cooking utensils and an outdoor thermometer. Repeat business and upsells is going to be very key. You also want to sell products that are timeless. Avoid products that go obsolete within a short period of time. After all, the more often a product turns over, the more work it'll be for you to update your product listings and maintain your website. This is yet another reason to avoid electronic-related products like iPhone cases because they change so often. Now, do you know where your target market hangs out? Well, if you sell a product that has a dedicated blog or a Facebook group, it's much easier to find and market to your customers. And can you easily create content for your products? For a dropship store, search engine optimization and social media is crucial for generating free traffic online. And in general, the more content that you can produce, the more visitors that you'll attract. Now, once you figure out a general niche, the hardest part about getting started with dropshipping is finding a supplier willing to dropship on your behalf. Now, there are a ton of directories that can help you find a dropshipping supplier, such as Worldwide Brands or SaleWho. But in general, you want to only use a dropshipping directory as a last resort. Why is that? It's because if the dropshipping company is in a directory, then chances are there are a ton of other sellers selling similar products already. The best dropship relationships are established in person. So before looking for a dropship supplier, you should ideally already have a great looking website up and running with a mock portfolio of products. Because every single legit supplier we'll try to assess whether you are the real deal and whether you can actually move product. After all, it is quite a burden for a supplier to take on a new dropshipping client. And in general, it's not worth their time or the setup costs to take you on as a dropshipping client unless you can actually make sales. Now, I put together a tutorial here that you can watch to put up a great looking WooCommerce store for only $3, along with a free template that I designed myself. So bare minimum, register a domain and put up a website because you're going to get asked about your experience and how you plan on selling products. Now, once you have a website ready to go, the easiest way to find a legit dropship supplier is to simply call the manufacturer for a product you want to sell and ask for a list of wholesale distributors. Then, once you have this list, you can contact the distributor directly and ask them if they are willing to dropship on your behalf. Now, what's nice about most dropship suppliers is that they carry a wide variety of products from a number of different manufacturers. As a result, if you can land a big distributor, you'll almost always gain instant access to a large catalog of items to carry in your store. But establishing a partnership with a distributor can be hit or miss, and you need to be prepared. Some distributors will only dropship for you if you have a brick and mortar presence, so just be warned. If a supplier is not willing to dropship for you initially, you may have to prove yourself first by buying a few units wholesale to establish a track record of sales. And then once you've made a bunch of sales, you can then ask if they will be willing to dropship for you. Now, if you aren't having any luck reaching out to wholesale distributors, the next best way to find a dropship supplier is by attending a trade show. And in fact, this is probably the best way to do it, but it requires a little legwork. So first, go to wholesalecentral.com, where you'll find a schedule of every single trade show in the United States and some shows overseas as well. There's literally a trade show for practically any product that you can think of. And by attending a trade show and meeting the brand face-to-face, you are far more likely to land a dropship supplier in person than through email or Zoom. Most trade shows, at least in the United States, are 100% free to attend as long as you have a business license. As a result, you have nothing to lose for attending. And most major cities have wholesale trade shows many times in a year in a variety of niches. Now, once you find a potential supplier, you should evaluate them thoroughly. After all, every successful dropshipping operation is a partnership between you and your distributor, and trust is essential. As a result, before you rely on any dropshipping vendor, you should always place a test order in order to see how the order is handled. Specifically, you should look for how fast the order ships. Shipping time is extremely important for an online store, and it's essential that orders are shipped between 1 and 2 days. You'll also want to pay attention to how the order is packed. Is the product shoved in a crappy box with packing peanuts? Or is the box unmarked without the supplier's business name? Will the product arrive safely and undamaged? You also want to evaluate the quality of customer service. Do they respond in a timely manner? Do they provide tracking information and an invoice? And do they give refunds for defective merchandise and returns? You also want to ask questions like, what are your pricing terms and are there quantity discounts? What is your dropship fee? Most dropshippers charge a per order dropship fee. How quickly do you ship? What is your return policy? Even though dropshippers ship on your behalf, all returns will be sent back to you. As a result, you need to understand the return policy to get your money back. And you also want to ask whether they offer EDI. EDI stands for Electronic Data Interchange, and it's an automated way for a dropship supplier to transmit their inventory stock to your website in real time. EDI keeps your store and your supplier in sync, which makes customer support that much easier. Now, once you have your suppliers in place, it's time to start selling. Now, because dropshipping margins are so low, you will not be able to afford to advertise online. As a result, you'll have to build traffic to your website the old-fashioned way, with legwork. And in general, you have two main options to drive traffic to your store: social media and search engine optimization. Social media is probably the best and cheapest way to build traffic to a dropshipping store without requiring a lot of technical knowledge. And the right social media platform for your business will depend on the products that you sell. Now, any product with a high visual component tends to work well on Instagram. For example, if you're in the fashion or the wedding industry, Instagram is a must. Home and interior design products work extremely well on Pinterest. And similar to Instagram, products with a high visual component are perfect for Pinterest. Now, products that target an older demographic tend to work well on Facebook. TikTok allows your brand to have tremendous reach even for brand new accounts. And what's great about TikTok is that you don't need a lot of subscribers to drive customers to your store, and the traffic is free. Business-to-business brands tend to do well on Twitter because most brands have a Twitter presence for customer service and loyalty programs. Now, the secret to succeeding on social media is to research where your target audience hangs out and build a brand on that platform, but it's going to be a grind. My friends who are successful on Instagram and Facebook post at least 1 to 2 times per day, and you have to be consistent. You must actively engage with your audience. Anne McFerrin, who started the $100 million eyelash company Glamnetic, got her first sales by DMing her followers on Instagram. My student Angela, who sells jewelry over at azurijewelry.com, literally posts 6 to 7 times per day on Instagram and once per day on TikTok. Now, this is a decent amount of work, but it's very effective. And if you don't have the money or the margin to spend on advertising, this is what you got to do. In addition to social media, you can also build traffic through search engine optimization. By targeting keywords that people are actively searching for, you can attract Google traffic for your products. And in order to know what people are searching for, you absolutely need to get a keyword tool like Ubersuggest or Ahrefs. These tools will not only tell you what people are searching for, but how hard it is to rank for that keyword as well. And once you know which keywords to target, you must publish a series of blog posts to rank in search. Now, no matter which marketing platform you choose, make sure you focus all of your efforts on one traffic source before moving on to the next. And as you generate sales and leads for your store, make sure you are collecting both emails and SMS phone numbers. Email marketing and SMS marketing allow you to bring customers back to your online store repeatedly until they're ready to buy. And by attracting new customers through social media and retaining your existing customers through email and SMS, you can easily grow a sustainable e-commerce business. And then, as you start attracting sales, you'll want to look for patterns on which products sell the best in your store, and then private label those exact same products under your own brand. By private labeling your winners, you can make a 66% margin or more instead of the paltry 10 to 30% that you make with dropshipping to create a 7-figure business and beyond. Now that you understand how to create a dropshipping business from scratch, make sure you watch this video here to get all the nitty-gritty details about dropshipping.